Greetings, fellow YouTuber. My name is Tim. Greetings, fellow YouTuber. My name is Tim. Welcome once again, as always, to this weekly vomit-inducing pile of cow swallow we call entertainment. This is GainerWorld Live. My name is Tim Gainer. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're a regular viewer, I always appreciate you stopping in. If you're new to our little soiree, well, don't expect a whole heck of a lot for the next hour or so. Mainly what we do, and we've been doing this for probably about 2 years now, is we kind of get together and we talk amongst ourselves. We basically do that. We'll talk about little things, and if you notice right over here, there's this cool little chat box. If you're watching live, yes, that is the chat that you see on YouTube. If you're watching the replay, that's the chat from YouTube that you don't see over here on the side. And you can watch along, and if you want to comment, you can comment down in the comments section. Yes, we will answer you, regardless of when you comment. That's the kind of people we are. We have no lives whatsoever. Always lots of fun stuff going around, like the people that are hanging out with us in the chat room. Ben Bollinger, the man, the master of the guitar from 6 Bar Breaks, popping in to say hi to us this evening. Always good to see you, Ben. Thanks so much for stopping in. MU City Games has learned the power of the emoji. Don't ask me why. Don't even ask me how. I didn't think the therapy had gone that far. Hugs. Unsigned artist, that means only one thing. Cyrus Gray is there among us as well, which is kind of, that means he's doing kind of double duty, because as soon as he gets off the air here at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, he's over on Hugs 24/7 Radio doing the Hugs Top 10 Countdown. I strongly recommend that you check that out. Hugs at WRGG.com, HUGSAT, for the Hugs Top 10 Countdown. Yes, we have a chart, an actual chart. Just kind of like the Silver Dollar Survey and all that good fun stuff. Always a good time. Always to see that. Greetings, everyone, from DLP Delapo Official, who is popping in this evening. And I happen to know DLP is one of our international viewers who is checking in from Nigeria. We have people that pop into the show from England, from Ireland, from Spain. Delapo, I'm sorry if I butcher your name, my friend. I don't mean it in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, you are officially our first Nigerian viewer. Thank you very much for being with us. We certainly do appreciate it. As always, our occasional guest co-host, Chris DJ OPM King, is yawning. Just because that's the kind of person he is, or probably, probably just got up, probably hungover, who knows, anything like that. So there's all kinds of things. So you can see what's happening here. All kinds of people are talking. If you're new to our show, please pop in, say hello, tell us where you're from. We'd love to hear from you, because that's what we do on this show. We kind of talk amongst ourselves, and we talk about some of the news stories that are happening in the day. I do have that repaired video from last week. I tried to show folks some video from Homegrown Fest 10 out in Gettysburg. One of the videos failed. We did fix that. We'll have that a little bit later on. I'm not paying the clearance fee for my $1 million dude. No. Stop it now. Stop it. Let's see. We got to check the tote board early, man. There's all kinds of things going on here. Eggplant Parmesan. That's what that means, right? Yes, MU City, that's what that means. Yes, cheesy eggplant. Gotcha. Chris said that I said duty, because that's whatever. And Delapo is saying hi to everybody. Just get used to it, dude. We're all like this all the time, And I also happen to know that it's like, if I'm not mistaken, it's something like what? It's got to be like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning over there. Why are you up this late? What is wrong with you to watch this show? Come on, what are you talking about here? As you can see, it's whatever goes. Nothing else. It's fun to watch Tim stammer. Yeah, I used to make a living at this, believe it or not, just talking and making a fool of myself. In fact, I still do. Let's see here. Everybody's seeing Max. I see you. Hey, Max, the bazillionaire. I have no idea what that means. I'm missing things because things are just going like crazy. Sometimes we're worse. It's 1:05 a.m. Okay, so you're 6 hours ahead. Okay, so that's a very cool thing. But still, like, really late, man. It's Friday. Come on. You should be at the bars or something, I'm trying to educate you. No, you cannot educate me, sir. You cannot educate me in whatsoever. So there's all kinds of things going on here, as you can tell. Oh, there's Max. Maximilian popping in to say, hey, how you from Brazil? How you doing, Max? Always good to see you, pal. Same time as me. Nice trip star popping in from England. See, this is what I'm talking about. We're bringing the world together. We're bringing the world together, just like one sick joke at a time. Don't you love it? Mr. Putin, Mr. Biden, are you listening? Let's see. So anyway, I know you were tested whatever the case may be. There is one thing I want to touch on real quick here before we go any further. I have to do something kind of local. So everybody kind of bear with me. Yeah, I'm here to tell you. Even Cyrus is saying, someone let a lot of crazy singers in here. If you watch this show, you realize that a lot of people that are on the Hugs list are on here right now. Which proves one thing, that it has to do with musicians. None of us have lives. We just don't. No, but I have to do something kind of local here, and almost on a national basis. But it's for a real good cause, and you'll understand in just a second. People in Chicago, in fact, people in America, and possibly some people around the world, will remember that you may or may not remember the name Steve McMichael. If you don't know who Steve McMichael is, Steve McMichael, he played American football. He was a legendary linebacker with the Chicago Bears. But he did a lot more than that. He wasn't just with the Bears. He also had a very storied career with the old WCW, World Championship Wrestling, that was bought out by WWE so many years ago. He did that in the 90s, from 99 to 95 to 99. Of course, he did his thing with the Bears. He was with the Super Bowl Bears in 1985. The sad part is about this, though, that Mongo has fallen on tough times. Mongo is currently battling ALS. Which is a severe form of muscular dystrophy, and he's really not doing all that well. Maximilian says, I'm a Packer backer. I had such faith in you two. That was the dude on the hair restoration billboards on the way to O'Hare. No, that's Brian Urlacher. That's Brian Urlacher. We're talking about Steve McMichael here. He was with the 85 Bears when they won the Super Bowl. Going back all the way. So yeah, there was that going on. He is, like I said, he's fallen onto hard times. And so what has happened is a lot of folks from the old WCW, Amy City also saying Mongo also ran for mayor of Romeoville back in 2013, Romeoville, Illinois. Yeah. Grew up in the backyard of the stadium, so to speak, but I respect good players from whatever teams they're from. And Slide Maniac popping in saying, good evening, Tim. or I'm going to think that's good evening, so that's fine. And thank you, Slad. I appreciate you popping in this evening. Thank you very much. I certainly do appreciate that. To get back to what we're talking about here, like I said, Mongo's fallen on hard times. So what has happened is they are going to do something very special to raise money for ALS. And what they're doing here in Chicago is they're doing a thing called Mongo Fest, otherwise known as Money for Mongo. Mongo was his nickname, by the way, Steve Mongo McMichael, for those who don't know. So Money for Mongo is a fundraiser, which is originating from the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Schaumburg, Illinois. This is going to take place on 12:30 tomorrow. It's going to be streamed live on Fight TV. And there's going to be a slew, as you can tell from the poster, there's a slew of people, wrestling greats, people like Ric Flair, Jeff Jarrett, Eric Bischoff, the great JR, James Ross, Tony Schiavone, Mick Foley. It's just an event just kind of to share their thoughts on his time in the ring, because actually Steve McMichael is actually a very good professional wrestler or sports entertainer, depending upon what we're calling them this week. So Steve's battle, according to this, Conrad Thompson, who was one of the organizers, said, and this is a quote, Steve's battle with ALS has been well documented. The way he and Misty have attacked the brutal disease is nothing short of inspirational. We want to do something special for them to help in any small way that we can. So I won't go into this a whole lot, but what you can do is if you want to donate, or even if you want information on how you can watch the show, again, it's going to be 12:30 Chicago time tomorrow on Fight TV. Go to WGNTV.com, and they've even got a spot on there where you can donate to help battle ALS, which I think is a very cool thing. And all the best to Mongo, man, and his wife Misty. Good people to be sure. Jerry Gaff popping in to say hey. Hey, Jer, how are you, my friend? Always good to hear from you. Project Kane popping in to say hi. All kinds of people coming into the Gainer Go Round this evening. I appreciate it, you guys. Thank you very much. It really does mean the world to me that you actually want to spend time with this little waste of bandwidth that we do every week. We just talk about, weird things. So John Kane popping in, which is always a good time. We appreciate that. This is what we do. This is mainly what we do. You bring out the crazies. Oh yeah, tell me about Well, I must, Jer. You're here. Speaking of crazy, being a child, and now you know I got the invite. Absolutely. Being a child of the 60s, and I openly admit it, do that. Oh no, dude, ain't no memes coming out here. Don't worry about it. You can always catch the replay if you really need it that bad. So, like I said, being a child of the 60s, there was one thing that I always appreciated, and that happened every Tuesday night at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central on the NBC networks. You could always look forward to 30 minutes of laughter and merriment thanks to the Monkees. Now, the Monkees, you would think, and I mean, the Monkees are worldwide. Everybody knows about the Monkees. Let's face it. Everybody knows. I mean, people that are in this chat room right now know who the Monkees are. You watching this from your phone or tablet or laptop, whatever the case may be, I'm sure you know about the Monkees. They were good, clean, harmless entertainment. You would think. But apparently, they were on an FBI watch list. This is not a joke. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. Mickey Dolenz, according to Rolling Stone and the BBC, Beatles Jr., yep, even Chris, we're both Monkees fans. We are both Monkees fans. A headquarters, Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones, 2 amazing albums. But here's a story that came out of Rolling Stone, and I did not know this, but then again, it makes sense because it was the 60s and it was a crazy time. Apparently, now I'm quoting here, that when the Monkees launched their first tour in 1967, they had a lot of fans. They had screaming fans all over the place. And there was always an FBI informant in the audience. According to a document in a file that was kept by the FBI on this band, on the Monkees, on the Prefab Four, and this is a quote now from Rolling Stone, during the concert, subliminal messages were depicted on the screen, which, in the opinion of the informant, constituted left-wing intervention of a political nature. These messages and pictures were flashed of riots in Berkeley, anti-U.S. messages on the war in Vietnam, racial riots in Selma, Alabama, and similar messages which had unfavorable responses from the audience. It is to this reason that Mickey Dolenz wants to have a word with the FBI. Yeah. Along with John Lennon and Grace Slick, apparently they were watching Mickey, Peter, Davey, and Mike, too, at the same time. And it stands to reason. It really does stand to reason because, at the same time, think of the songs that they had on Head alone. Diddy Diego War Chant, on the Birds, the Bees, and the Monkees. I think it was or was it? Yeah, it was on that album. They had Zoran Zam about the world's shortest war. Last Train to Clarksville was an anti-war song. So yeah, it had that type of thing to it. But now what's happening is that Mickey is asking for those files. This is according to his lawyer, Mark Zaid. He told the BBC, and this is a quote, this lawsuit seeks to expose why the FBI was monitoring the Monkees and its individual members. Well, it's real simple. It was the 60s, and they thought anything with long hair was just this communistic thing that was going to overthrow the government. We're talking the days of Lyndon Johnson and Richard Nixon and J. Edgar Hoover. What else do you need? According to, it's a 7-page FBI memo that was reported by Rolling Stone. A lot of it's redacted, but in one section of the file, they're talking about subliminal messages. And Mickey has exhausted all necessary required administrative remedies to access the file after submitting a Freedom of Information Act request in June. So, yeah. Zaid is, by the way, a lifelong fan, he said, of the Monkees. And, who isn't? I always dug the band. He said he couldn't think of a better combination to force the FBI to reveal its most secret Monkees files. That sounds like an episode right there, The Secret Monkees Files, next Tuesday on NBC. And help the public learn more about the important era of American history. He added, I know I'm a believer. So we're going to, we're going to be following that one. Because it's going to be interesting. They finally revealed the files on John Lennon. And they were following him like a hawk. Everybody knew that. He was being wiretapped. So it's going to be interesting to see what they have on there. Let's see. Let's check the tote board on this one. FBI just wanted a private show. Yeah, they probably got mad because they couldn't get in to see him. Think about it. Hendrix opened for them for the first 5 shows of their tour. I would have dug seeing him. Speaking of which, about time for a haircut there. No, it's not. No, it's not. You just stop. You're just jealous. You're just jealous. It's time to let the freak flag fly again. I've decided. So let's see here. That's MK Ultra for you. Yeah, that's to be sure. Easy Day, Ezra Day popping in. Easy, how you doing? Always good to see you. Hey, Jerry Garcia, aka Chicago Connection. Hey, this is pretty cool. That you can actually sit through this stuff. Well, what are you, high? Don't you have a wife? What's wrong with you? Let me see here. I wouldn't endorse anything from the BBC. Yeah, but it's also, Rolling Stone, and they're almost credible. They used to be really credible, but not these days. Bob Rinaldi popping in. Hey, Bob, how are you? Always good to see you, my friend. The good folks at All Sound Pro. Always good to hear from you. Thank you very much for popping in. We appreciate that. Lots of people popping in to say hi. In fact, I tell you what we'll do here. Let me do this right about here. I want to kind of make up for something that I didn't do last week. Oh, you know what? Speaking of which, let me do this. Everybody's talking about this. And I've got to do this before I go to the video. I have to, Chris, did someone mention BBC? All right, we'll do it just this once for you, Amy City. Hey, Chris, did someone mention BBC? Can't hear that acronym without hearing you sing. Damn it. Yeah. That is the 21st century. Anyway, before we go to the video, I do have to bring this up. And it's something, apparently there's a controversy that is brewing. As you may know, a couple of weeks ago, we all went out to Shelton, Washington, and we performed at Hugfest 2022, which was an awesome time. We all had a great time. And during the show, when I was performing with my band, the Tim Gainer Experience, this picture was taken. And I think it was Megan Paulette that took this. If it is, Megan, thank you very much. It's a beautiful picture. I appreciate you doing that. But it has caused a little bit of controversy. It has caused a little bit of controversy because a couple of days after we came back, apparently this came out. Now, I'm going to let you study that for just a second. So now, somehow, along the ways, people are trying to convince the rest of the world that Jerry Garcia has come back from the dead. No pun intended. And therefore was in Shelton, Washington. I can neither confirm nor deny, as of this time, anything that had to do with this magazine. And that's all I'm going to say about that. However, I do understand that at one point, since he did use, my son and my drummer for his band, I do understand that it was really a great time when he led the crowd in a sing-along of Casey Jones. So I thought that was, really cool. So we're just going to let that go. We're going to let that go for now. In the meantime, what I want to do is last week, I was letting people know, okay. And now Chris is singing BBC One to the crowd in the chat room. If Jerry isn't dead, what's next? We find out that he was never grateful. No, he was quite grateful. But as you can tell, if you take a real close look at that particular thing, you'll realize Bob Weir's a little mad at him because he still owes him money. Royalties. What are you going to do? Last week, I had promised people that I was going to show a performance of a song that I was kind of forced to do before I left. And I'm really happy that I did it. But for some reason, the tape didn't work, and I promised I'd play it this week. So I want to do that for you now before we go any further. This is from Homegrown Fest 10 in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, which I had a lot of fun doing. And yeah, check this out. This is the performance of Ventriloquist Love that I did live. Check this out.
Once we was happy as Cool and Fran. You look like a woman, honey, so I felt like a man. We didn't have no big Rolls Royce, but we was happy now, wasn't we, Joyce? Till you went off to night school and learned to throw in your voice Ventriloquist Love. It ain't such a groove. Whenever I kiss you, honey, your lips never move. But you'd practice for hours with the bedroom door shut. You and your dummy, little Charlie McNutt. And everybody said he looked so cute in his little yeller suit. Then one night you went and broke him up and had me substitute Ventriloquist Love. It ain't such a groove. Whenever I kiss you, honey, your lips never move. But I want you, baby, in the worst kind of way. I used to think about you every night and every day. That's right, honey. I still remember the thrill of it all. The night I asked you to marry me, and you said, Ventriloquist Love, it ain't such a groove. Whenever I kiss you, honey, your lips never move. But last night at that party, you threw it all away. I'll never forgive you, baby, the things you forced me to say. You made a pass at every guy. I wanted just a girl who died. Cause you made the words come straight from me, and now I can't look them in the eye. Cause the things they're thinking, they're hard to prove. Whenever I kiss you, honey, your lips never move. I am, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Ventriloquist Love live from Homegrown Fest 10, only because it had to be done. Just felt it at that particular moment. Had a lot of fun with that, and as you can tell, I was trying to do the Rick James look. That because it was raining. If you didn't see the show last week, the quick explanation, we did that in a tent because it started raining just before I was supposed to go on, and they took everything, they moved it into the vendor's tent. So it was really hot, and it was no circulation, and it was raining, and it was a good time, though. Had a lot of fun. Really do appreciate it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to follow up on a story that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, involving Winnie the Pooh. And I'm going to tell you straight off, if you have kids, you may want to have them leave the room for this, because it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. We'll talk about it when we come back. Stick around. Hang on just a second.
While you're inside, wage a war on yourself. The damage has been done. So casualties you lost within the fight. The wounded lie waiting for relief that's just inside. Within your struggle for redemption, there's a block along the way. And it belongs to those who still believe you still have much to say. Please raise the flag, come to the table.
If that isn't shameless self-promotion, I don't know what is. And I'm pretty doggone proud of it. Please check it out. It's at all the major streaming services right now, wherever you pick up your music digitally. It's also at my website, timgainer.com. Very proud of this recording. And the B-side, too, which is a really fun cover of The Byrds, I'll Feel a Whole Lot Better, that I've always had a lot of fun with. See, it's Jerry Garcia. You better collect your royalties quick before he dies again. Yes, that's true. Pardon me. About a month ago, was it a month, maybe 2 months ago? We did a story about, well, it actually got into a little bit of a discussion between Chris King and myself about copyrights and how very soon, as a matter of fact, it's already passed, where the copyright, pardon me, has passed for the Walt Disney Corporation. It has passed for Winnie the Pooh. Now, in case you don't know what's going on here, what has happened is that Winnie the Pooh, I mean, the Walt Disney Company, that is to say, it's still protected, but they no longer have an exclusive right to the work of A.A. Milne, which is what this is all about. They can still use Winnie the Pooh. They can use this likeness, but do they have the exclusive rights to him anymore? No, they don't. It has gone. Winnie the Pooh is now part of the public domain. In other words, which caused a little bit of controversy because a few weeks right after the copyright ran out on Winnie the Pooh, we got we got word of a movie that is being put out. And yes, Chris, you're right. He's saying in the chat, so is Steamboat Willie. Which in itself could be really, really something. But I'm not even going to talk about that here. But anyway, we were kind of threatened with that's it now, says Tripstar. We know for a fact we're going to see a porn of Tigger messing. Actually, no. The reality of the situation is that Tigger is actually spared. He first appeared in Milne's Works in 1928, according to USA Today, but he's still protected by copyright. But the rest of the gang is going to be in a movie. The movie is called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Now, when we first talked about this about a month or two ago, we all thought, oh, this is just so cute. No, nobody could possibly do that. This is an actual thing. This is an actual thing. We have found out through CNN that Blood and Honey is being actually made. They have a cast. Rice Frake Waterfield wrote and directed the film. Craig David Dossett is starring in it, along with Nikolai Leon, Amber Doig Thorne, Daniel Scott, and Maria Taylor. It is being... you can't make this up, gang. You cannot make this up. This is an actual thing. And the director, Race Waterfield, who also co-produced it, he told Variety in May that Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is a horror film starring Pooh and Piglet as the main villains going on a rampage after being abandoned by Christopher Robin. He was away at school, and the two once lovable pals turned feral for their quest for food and survival. It was shot in 10 days in England, not far from Ashdown Forest, which was the inspiration for A.A. Milne for Winnie the Pooh, which is where he got the inspiration for the 100-Acre Wood. And, the poster, I don't see it here, but apparently it has the line on it, "This ain't no bedtime story." This is a real thing. And in fact, we have the official trailer. I'm going to give you a minute. If you have young ones and you don't want to subject them to this, you may want to have them leave the room for a minute. Okay. Let's go back to the toad board here for a minute, because Cyrus is saying child psychiatry must need a financial stimulus because kids everywhere are going to get crushed. You have not seen this trailer yet. And normally I wouldn't put this on my show, but we talked about it once before, and I feel it's only fair that we follow up on this completely. And have I allowed enough time to get people out of the room? Do you think? Yeah. If you have a weak constitution or you don't want your kids to be traumatized, I'll give you another second here. This apparently is going to be released next year. And strangely enough, Disney has not commented on any of this. Golly gosh, Rooney, can you wonder why? Yeah. So let's just get this over with. This is the official trailer. If you're watching the replay and you're easily offended, you may want to fast forward the next minute and a half. This is the trailer for Winnie the Pooh's Blood and Honey.
You know, you're the first person I ever shown this place to.
And why am I so special?
Because soon we'll be Christopher and Mary Robin.
You should be close now.
We're not going to find them.
We will. Pooh, Piglet, Eeyore, we were friends for many years, and they're out there.
Christopher, we need to leave. Now.
I really need to find out what's happening there, okay?
This place is kind of cold. Did you say it has a pool? We need to go. There's... Laura's dead. There's someone else outside. What was that?
We used to be friends. Why are you doing this, please? I would have never left, I swear. I swear.
I got nothing. Been doing this for 50 years. I got nothing. You know, on one side of the coin, it's really, it's really kind of interesting that that's happening. On the other side of the Chris just kind of says, "Oh, bother." Yeah, you can tell Pooh is silent. He's wielding knives and chloroform. You know, Cyrus is asking, where's Tigger? As I said before, Tigger is still under copyright protection, so he is not included in this mayhem. However, there is something that I did see in this trailer that I really need y'all to pay attention to. Because it happens for just a mere second. But this is in the trailer. And why I found this, I have no idea, but this is a still from the trailer of a grave marker. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. It's not much of a tale. But you guys can eat it. No, I was not. Cyrus is saying you must have been on the deep web. Actually, I got that off YouTube. I got that off of this here very service. Tigger's not there. No, Tigger is not there. Eeyore did that to himself. Yeah, depression does that to you, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah, they're talking about how this thing is going to be. I mean, there's no word on a release date, but apparently one of the things that the producers tried really hard not to do was get too close to Disney's version. Gee, I wonder why. According to USA Today, while the movie character's mask is clearly Disney's Pooh, the bear has swapped his famed red shirt for a lumberjack shirt, and Piglet dons all black. Oh yeah, the sequel is the sequel is going to be Tigger's Return, like Jason and Michael. That could be interesting, actually. If you've got something to say about it, please join us. Join us in the chat. You can tell everybody is talking about this right now. But this, just to me, is just the weirdest thing. Only in the 21st century would something like this happen. Okay? Only in the 21st century. You can't make this up. You know, and once they find out, you know, and I side with Chris. Once they find out Steamboat Willie is not in the is not copyrighted anymore, oh Lord, we got problems. We got real problems. Let me see here. I did say, Tim, I was going to show this to my two kids, says Tripstar, but after watching that, I'm not sure even I want to watch it. I have no words at all. I know it's like, you know, on one side of the coin, you know, when you were kids, when you were in high school, you'd look at this and, hey, yeah, that'd be really cool. You know, Winnie the Pooh gets really mad. He beats the shit out of everybody. How great would that be? You know, it's like Mr. Spock. Finally, you know, he loses his cool and he wipes out everybody on the Enterprise. Imagine if somebody actually made a movie like that. Okay. It's like destroying your childhood all over the place. This is unholy to even let this happen, says Cyrus. But again, how do you stop it? How do you stop it? Disney, as far as I'm concerned, and I know I'm going to get flack from Chris on this because I know Chris's hatred of Disney and their start of copyright laws. But if they were really sincere about all this, why didn't they extend the copyright? Why didn't they put the notice in for it? Really? This is Disney's fault. I blame that, And people have been wanting to do parodies like this for years, and now they have the opportunity to do it. Chris says the sequel will be named Antigger 2. That could be fun. Invest a few bucks into the Hogs artistry, and I'll give them something the watchers and listeners would fall in love with. Yeah, okay. Now, you were just talking a few minutes ago about getting a soundtrack for that thing. Yeah, no. I think they're pretty well. They got this, they got this involved. They got this. The internet has ruined my childhood 1,000 times over purely because of Rule 34. Yeah, there's that. I finally got around to showing my oldest son, Jim, that clip of He-Man singing What's Going On by Four Non Blondes. Yeah, and he just, he's like, why did you do this to me? Lay down. No, not lay down your arms. I hope there's a Oh my God, that would be great if there was a parody like that with Peppa Pig. Oh man, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. We can all get together in this room. It's like, it's like the joke about it's funny until somebody loses an eye. And this is exactly what's happening here. We'd all go, oh, wouldn't it be great, if Mickey and Donald got stoned out of their asses and they just went out and just started butchering everybody. And Mike Stem has popped in from Lattimore Sky, and the first thing's out of his mouth. You would think Eeyore would be the killer since he was the one with the nail in his ass. Yeah. And again, Eeyore is the one that is clinically depressed. So you would think, just wait. We have until 2028. Okay? And if Disney doesn't extend that one, yeah. And Tigger too. So and you say Eeyore goes Columbine? No, Eeyore's dead. Eeyore's dead. I mean, really, take a look, bro. Take a look. They either offed him or he offed himself. They don't even say, they don't even mention this. It's a little blip in the trailer. There's like, pardon me. For me, when I saw this, I went back to the trailer and I tried to edit this picture, and it's all of like a second and a half that you see this in the trailer. So it's like, I hope they explain it in the movie. If nothing else, did they eat him? Did they cannibalize poor Eeyore? Which would explain the tale once you stop and think about it. It's not much of a tale, but it's high in protein. Talking about a whole different project. Oh yeah, no, I understand. Eeyore comes back and he dons the black raincoat. I get it. The Prozac didn't work for him apparently. Yeah, no, you're right about that. And I'm going to keep my eyes for the copyright on Speed Racer. Oh my God. Well, they've already done the Speed Racer movie, which I haven't seen and don't care to. Do they even mention, if anybody's seen the Speed Racer movie, do they even mention Racer X in that? I don't think they do. I don't remember reading anything about that. They should have cannibalized Piglet because bacon is delicious. You go to horse meat. Why not go straight for the pork? They did a Speed Racer movie which extends things. Okay, but did they mention Racer X? That's what I want to know. I don't think they did. I don't remember hearing anything about that. Bear in the Big Blue House. Yeah, there's that. Go to Rule 34. You got the big comfy couch. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. But yeah, no, there's weird things going on. Weird things happening. Speaking of weird, and I have to mention this because I was somehow directly involved. I wasn't directly involved. I was indirectly involved. I do social media. Obviously, I do Facebook. I do this show. I do, Twitter. I do Instagram. A couple of people have asked me, why don't you do TikTok? No, I don't have time for that anymore. Okay, I help run a radio station. I'm trying to work with my own music. I'm doing this. I'm doing other social media things. No, I'm not doing TikTok. But I do, thanks to Chris King, I have gotten involved in TikTok. I tried to avoid it as best I could. But yeah. Let me see here. Let's just check the tote board and see. I may eschew this whole story altogether. Okay, on the risk of being twisted, how about Goldilocks and the Three Bears? Oh yeah, that's Rule 34 all over the place. Let's call it. Okay, there's no getting around that. I don't want to watch a video of Bear going ham on that mouse. I don't know. It could be fun. Racer X was in the Speed Racer movie. He was played by Matthew Fox. Okay. All right. Thank you for clearing that up, Amy City. I appreciate that. I've seen Speed Racer. It was silly, kitschy fun. Razor X was involved. And yes, Speed and Trixie have a thing. Oh, man. Why? Why you got to tell me that? Oh. Speed. Meet me in the garage. Don't bring Chim Chim. It's a good platform to get more views. Yeah, but I just don't have time for it. I don't have time for it. I really, really don't. But I'm involved in TikTok now. I watch TikTok because Chris forced it down my throat. Is what he did. I'm kidding. He introduced me to it, and I just went, okay, I'll give it a shot. Next thing I know, it's on my phone. It's on my laptop. And a few days ago, I'm getting all of these. They say that there was 96 of them, but there was more than that. You might know the name Gabby Hanna. If you don't know the name Gabby Hanna was one of the original Vine girls. And when Vine went out, she moved over to YouTube. She moved over here to YouTube and started her own channel, The Gabby Show, which sprung out of nowhere. I mean, she ended up with something like 6 million views, 6 million subscribers. She was just like, she was up there. She was really up there. She was also part of David Dobrik's crowd, hung around with them. And then after that, she just kind of, went off on her own. Now she's on TikTok. And there's a lot of people wondering if Gabby's okay. Because a few days ago, and I saw this, I saw all of these videos spring up. There was something like 200. This is not an exaggeration. 200 videos in the course of about 3 days from this girl. She's, talking about religion, talking about people breaking into her house, talking about conflicts with the LAPD. None of this happened, by the way. It's already been proven. But yeah, I mean, she just released a new album, Drama Queen. So yeah, but she's always talked about her mental illness, but now she's talking about, she's part of religion, that God has taken over her Twitter and Instagram accounts. Oh, by the way, she doesn't have a nationality. Just so you know. And she is the second coming of Christ, according to Rolling Stone. And Daddy, her name for God, is now in charge of her Twitter and Instagram accounts. Yeah. She made some colorful comments also on hot button issues, it says here, like housing insecurity, whether or not she's a person of color, the trans community, and privilege. And she just went off. And a lot of people are asking if she's okay, to the point where there was a wellness check done by the LAPD. Now, she's been very vocal in the past about her bipolar disorder and how it affects her. But a lot of people are thinking that she's had a relapse. She's having a manic episode. But apparently she's okay. She came back on and said, hey, everything's all right, you know. So, yeah. Gabby Hanna, God bless you. Drama Queen, her new album. Look for it in the stores. Great PR, Gabs. People think you're nuts now. Let's see. Cyrus is getting out of here because he is going over to do the top 10 countdown, which, as we all know, is over there on Hugs 24/7 Radio. HUGSATWRGG.com. Starts at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right after this here Laugh Fest is completed. And yeah, head on over there because I know I'm going to be. There's all kinds of good stuff going on there. So yeah, I got this thing, you know, something about a countdown, a lot of crazy singers and songwriters. You know how they all are. Yes, I do. By golly, by God. And I'm proud to say that I'm one of them. So yeah. And also this weekend, of course, a long weekend. Labor Day here in the States, pardon me, where we celebrate the American worker. Going about and doing their thing. Working 40 hours a day. And we get a day off. I'm so glad I'm retired. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? But in any rate, what do you guys got planned? Anybody here in the States, if you're got plans for the Labor Day weekend? Barbecues? Going out, traveling? They say that this is going to be one of the heaviest, travel weekends probably in the last 3 or 4 years. So, yeah. So, where are you going? Maybe you're heading to...
Summer has returned, and not a moment too soon, in Pure, Michigan.
Although I doubt it. Yeah. And also, one thing I am going to be doing tomorrow, and I'm not ashamed to say, is Amy City is saying I'm just sorting through storage unit stuff. I know, you told me about that last week. Apparently Amy City is playing the Storage Wars game. Found quite a bit of stuff, including some apple bottom jeans and boots with the fur. Seriously, man, you got to check out. I need them. If they're size 11, I want them. If they're size 10 and a half, I want them. I want them. Mine. I want. Because I used to have those, and I used to love those things in the winter. But we'll get to that. Be that as it may. Yeah, and also if you're a wrestling fan, she hit the floor. Okay, I have no idea what that means, but okay. Chris says he's going to Cleveland, according to this, because at least it's not Detroit. I understand that. That makes sense to me. Amy City says, I'm going to be watching Steam since I just released my first title. Nice. Little shameless self-promotion there, dude. Nothing wrong with that. I certainly do appreciate that. And that is where we will end it, right about here. We're going to get out of here. We're going to head over to hugswrgg.com so we can all listen to the top 10 countdown. Thank you so much for watching. I certainly do appreciate it. I really do. It means so much to me when I've got friends like you hanging out with me. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And come on back here next week because we're going to have a little bit more fun, okay? Always, Ezra Day saying, have a nice night. Jerry, thank you. Captain Trips. Thank you, Bob. So everybody have a great night. Like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. In other words, if you like it, hey, you know what to do. We'll see you next week. We out of here, boys.